guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. For those of you who are new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button because you are going to want to keep up with these videos, especially if you love to save money. I love doing drugstore reviews, demos, tutorials, anything related to makeup. And today I wanted to do a special video for those of you who are either starting off with makeup or you have someone, maybe a daughter, a niece, a younger sister who wants to start off with makeup if you're just clueless, or when you go to the store and you honestly don't know what to pick up. You go to your local drugstore, Walgreens, CVS, a Rite Aid, and there is just so much. It's saturated with makeup. You don't know what is what, but you want good quality products. I gotta say, the drugstore has definitely stepped up their game with products, but there's still some of those where it's like maybe not worth the money. So I just want to help those of you out who want to go to your drugstore and just pick up products that are affordable, that are those hidden gems, and that are really going to help you start off with makeup and then kind of elevate your skill, kind of dip your toe in the water a little bit. I definitely want to be a part of your journey and progress here. So basically think of this as like a little checklist to go, because all of these products you can easily pick up at your local drugstore. This isn't one of those only available online, but if you guys are ready to find those hidden gems from the drugstore and get your makeup kit started, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to go in the order in which I applied my makeup so I don't forget any steps. And the first couple of products, the complexion products, the face products, I feel like this is where I'm going to give you maybe a couple more options, because skin type definitely plays a huge role in how the product sits on your face, it wears, and how long it lasts. So most important thing when starting off with makeup is finding out your skin type. Are you oily? Are you dry? Are you normal? Are you combo? That is going to be the most important thing, because that's going to help you narrow down which products are going to be for you. The first thing that I applied to my face, and I feel like when I started off with makeup, what has made the biggest difference in my makeup journey has been a face primer. I used to never use a face primer, but I feel like it definitely makes a big difference for dry skin. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have a very dry skin, and I feel like the drugstore really, for me, didn't have much out there. So that's why also maybe I kind of struggled with that. And I feel like that has made a difference in how my foundation sits on my face. But in the last couple of years, the drugstore has definitely come out with some really great primer options for different skin types, not just one universal primer. And for me, one that I would recommend for dry skin would definitely be the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock Primer. This primer is so hydrating for dry skin. This is a base. This is really going to help out with whatever skin concerns you have. So I need hydration. This is going to give me that elevated boost to my makeup routine. For those of you who have oily skin, I would definitely recommend the alternative to this one, which is the one for oily skin, the mattifying primer. So I love that L'Oreal has an option for, you know, dry skin, oily skin, and normal skin, combo skin. I feel like just kind of choose what you're feeling like that day. Or specifically, you can even mix and match your primers. You can use two primers depending on what areas of concern you have. Maybe your T-zone is a little bit more oily, so you can mattify that with the primer. Maybe, you know, your cheeks are a little bit more dry, so you can use, you know, a little bit more of a hydrating primer. But I would definitely recommend L'Oreal Infallible primers for dry skin and oily skin. The next product is a foundation, and this is also really going to depend on what type of skin type you have. So knowing your skin type, and when looking at foundations, knowing what type of finish that foundation is going to give you is going to be very important. If you have dry skin like me, I tend to look for something that either says hydrating, radiance, luminous, because that's what my skin is lacking. Sometimes I even like a nice natural or satin finish. Those are very complementing to my skin. I tend to personally kind of steer away from foundations that say a mattifying or oil free sometimes, even, because that could mean a mattifying. For oily skin, you're probably going to want to find something that says mattifying, oil-free, maybe even natural and satin finish. Those are nice, friendly ones. So if you feel like you really don't know and it says natural or satin, chances are it might work for you. Normal skin, you're so freaking lucky. Everything might look really great on you. Maybe if you have a little bit of combination, that's where natural to satin might be the kind of safer bet. But once again, those primers can really help those areas where you're struggling, and then you can kind of choose your foundation like that and kind of play it forward. So therefore, I was just thinking which foundation is either universal for everybody or which brand has kind of a nice sister complementary foundation, and one that I love for dry skin and I know that is loved for oily skin. This took me a while. So I definitely would have to go with Maybelline's, for me, Dewy and Smooth, the Maybelline Fit Me line. I love, love, love that Maybelline has the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth for someone like me with dry skin, and they also have the Fit Me Matte and Poreless for oily skin. And I feel like that one just kind of, either you can use the Fit Me Matte and Poreless if you're oily, Dewy and Smooth if you're dry. You can combine them, I feel like, if you have normal skin, or just combine them in general. I feel like if I wanted to combine the matte and poreless in the winter time with the Dewy and Smooth, I think that would be a really beautiful combination. So you kind of have options there. Their color selection I think is a really, really great, so you can find a color for you. So I think Maybelline also did a good job for that. So for starters, you can definitely, you know, find something for you, or if you have to mix, but it's also drugstore, so it's very affordable if in the case that maybe you kind of fall in between some colors. Another reason why I personally chose the Maybelline Fit Me line, whether it's Dewy and Smooth or Matte and Poreless, because I feel like these are very buildable foundations. So especially if you're starting out, I think going for something formulas that are buildable, I think are going to be more your friend, as opposed to something that's maybe full on matte or that's full on full coverage to begin with. I feel like that can be maybe a little bit trickier to work with. I feel like it's easier to start off buildable. Once you kind of get the hang of like blending it, you get to know, are you a heavy-handed person or not. I think building up your coverage, building up, you know, whatever formula you're using, I think that'll give you a better idea of maybe what your preference is. If you find that you only like one layer of a light to medium coverage, and maybe you kind of conceal rather than add on one full layer of coverage, or general what your skin prefers, I think it's just easier to start off lighter and then kind of figure out what your preference is. The next product is concealer, and if you watch my channel, I do a lot of concealer reviews because I love, love, love concealers. Probably just as much as I love foundations, but I feel like concealers I can definitely try a little bit more because of my dry skin, but my under eyes can, you know, definitely take on a mattifying concealer a little bit better than my face can. However, this is very, very difficult, not only because I love concealers, but because I thought what would be a great, you know, beginner formula that's great for everybody, and I think in general all skin types, and whether you're a beginner or if you're like advanced and you love makeup, and this is hard. But my personal choice, I think one that's going to work for everybody, and I think that everybody's really going to like, is definitely the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. So for those of you who watch my channel and know that I am a full coverage queen, and I have been raving about the new e.l.f. Camo Concealer and the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and even like the ColourPop, but I feel like the ColourPop I didn't choose just because you can't yet really find that at like a Walgreens or a CVS. Ulta now you can. But or even the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. Those, I feel like, depending on your preference, there's a lot of people who find those maybe a little too mattifying. I don't mind them. Or they find them maybe too heavy. I personally don't mind them. I like something like the Milani Conceal and Perfect for everybody because I feel like it's just like in the middle, where it's a nice and medium, once again, buildable coverage. So for those of you, sometimes I honestly only use one layer. Sometimes maybe I want to build it up even more. I feel like either way, it looks beautiful. It's hydrating but not oily, and it's not gonna crease up even if you want to use it as like kind of like a lid eyeshadow primer. Something that I've definitely found very surprising is that, one, a lot of people don't use concealer. I'm like, what? I mean, I was definitely there. I didn't before, but also they don't set the concealer, or they don't know they should set their concealer. You can do whatever you want, or just the fact that they didn't know, like, I could do that, or what do I do that with type of video. Definitely got in those questions more and more. And maybe you can go in with your regular face powder, but you definitely want something really, really lightweight underneath the eyes, because as it is, that area is very, very sensitive, and if you're like me, you can crease very easily. So you want a very lightweight powder. You can use a loose powder, or if you're kind of like on the go a lot, or maybe very, very messy, something that's very user-friendly is definitely a setting powder, is a compact setting powder. So also very difficult, but this is going to be a combo one with my bronzer contour, and if you watch my channel, you probably know the Wet n Wild contouring palettes. The highlights, as you can see, I love this highlight. I think this is like my third palette. Reasons why I recommend it is because, one, it's only $5. Only $5. This is the best $5 ever spent. I have not met a person who I know, who I recommended this to, who bought it and did not like it, or rather did not love it. I love this powder so much. I have another shade too if you are a little bit tanner than I am. So this one is Dulce de Leche, so if you're kind of close to my skin tone, this is a good shade for you. But I just love this formula. It is so freaking buttery smooth. But all you need is either you can maybe tap it in with your beauty blender and set underneath your eyes, or you can kind of go in with a small setting brush and just kind of tap and just set your under eyes. But it also kind of gives you a little bit of a brightening effect, but not too like shockingly bright underneath the eyes, but it's just right. And I just love the formula, and I'm so surprised they have this in a little compact for $5. But I would definitely recommend setting your under eyes with something lightweight like this, very, very fine, as opposed to using your regular face powder. It's gonna make the biggest difference, and also it just kind of gives you a little bit more dimension rather than kind of having everything flat the same color. It even makes you look a little bit more awake. Another complexion product where I feel like it's really gonna make a difference what skin type you have. So a face powder. Now for dry skin, honestly, I have really been not using a face powder lately, and I've actually really been liking it. But if you do maybe want to use a face powder, one that I would highly recommend would be the Milani Prep Set and Glow Powder, because it just has these tiny, you can't even see them. It just kind of gives you a nice little luminous little dusting on the face. This is not a like extra coverage powder. This just kind of gives you like that nice veil of a glow, because dry skin, you really don't need extra product on your face. And I've actually been liking my makeup without an extra powder on top of my foundation, you know, underneath my bronzer, underneath my blush, underneath the highlight. You know, less powder, the better for dry skin. I think it just makes the glow stand out even more. But I like this because this is a glow specific powder. For oily skin, I think one face powder that I would definitely recommend, once again, Maybelline Fit Me, their face powder in the little compact, or I also really, really liked the loose setting powder from Maybelline. I think dry skin, that was just a little bit too heavy, but for oily skin, I think you're really, really going to like that loose setting powder as well. Plus, I love that they have different options for different skin tones. Now for a bronzer, a contour, a little bit of a sun-kissed look. Let me know if you're one of those who does not, you know, use a contour, use a bronzer at all. Let me know in the comments down below, because this will change your makeup game up. Once you start, you cannot stop. Once again, it is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This little palette, it's 2 products in one for $5, especially if you're starting off. I feel like it's just kind of, it can be. If you don't have the budget, you really want to try some great products, but you don't have much to invest into it because, like, I don't know if this is going to be great. I'm telling you which ones are the products that you need. This is how you're going to save money, get the most bang for your buck, have amazing products, and have an amazing makeup look. You need this palette palette in your life. And I feel like in general, a lot of people maybe don't do bronzing or contouring. You'll be surprised, or you're not surprised because you're one of those who doesn't do it, but you should totally try it, because I feel like just foundation, I feel like your face can be very one-dimensional and there's just not much going on there. You kind of get rid of those shadows. Those beautiful cheekbones that you have can be hidden by that layer of a foundation, and this is just a great way to bring it back and really sculpt the face. Really simple and easy once you get the hang of it. I'll link down below my how to highlight and contour for beginners using powder products, and even if you want to go in with like concealers and stuff like that, it's going to change your face game up. My face does not look this structured normally. This is all makeup. Blushes. There are so many blushes out there, and I would definitely recommend it. I think this is one you could skip if you wanted to. If you have maybe a bronzer instead, I think you'd totally get away with it, but I would definitely say I would personally choose for anyone, if you're beginning, maybe go for a powder blush over a cream blush, because oily skin, maybe it might not be your best friend. Dry skin, you can kind of get away with it, but I feel like application wise that can be a little bit trickier to get the hang of. Not impossible, but just definitely trickier. And there are definitely some mattifying, you know, blushes out there you should be careful of, because they're very pigmented but they don't blend out easily. A blush that I would recommend for anyone, the brand is definitely the Flower Beauty, the Flower Pots blushes. This just so happens to be my favorite one, the Peach Prim Rose. I love a pretty peach blush. I feel like it just complements my skin tone a little bit better, but they have some other beautiful colors which I need to pick up so I can mix it up here in my channel. But the formula for a drugstore blush, I think, is just perfection. Let's see, like, I have not touched my high-end blushes in a while. I've touched them just to mix it up type of a deal, but I don't feel like I need a high-end blush with this formula. It's, once again, just so soft, buttery smooth, pigmented, but not like overpowering, and it blends out beautifully. It's definitely beginner user friendly for anyone. Advanced, I think you should have this blush in your collection. I love the packaging as well. It's not clunky. You can have multiples of these, collect them as you go type of a deal. But if you guys have not tried this, I think Flower Beauty definitely did a great job with this blush and you won't be disappointed. And I feel like just find the color for you and you won't have to buy another blush unless you want to. Face highlight, a nice shimmery highlight is just a great little accent to your makeup. Not a necessity for some. I feel like I feel a little bit incomplete myself without it, but I feel like it makes a nice difference to your makeup. Once again, so many formulas. There's definitely those very overpowering ones. There's those that are more like glitters, and I think one that I would definitely recommend for a starter, not only because of the price, but because for the price, it's such an amazing highlight, is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. Another reason why I recommend the Wet n Wild brand is because they have multiple different colors. So this one is in the shade Precious Petals, which I think is great for so many different skin tones. But I feel like maybe a lot of times not every face highlight, a shimmery highlight, is universal. You know, there's some that can, you know, work for a lot of different skin tones, but I feel like it's always nice to have a variety of different colors for different skin tones, ranging from a very light to light medium, deep, dark. I feel like that's very, very important to have, and I feel like Wet n Wild has a variety also depending on your skin tone. Are you more warm? Are you more neutral? Are you more cool? This was definitely a debate for me because I also love my Milani highlights, but I feel like those definitely tend to range from different types of like golds, whether it's for like a very light skin tone, something like my skin tone, a tan skin tone, or dark skin tones. Whereas this one, this like Precious Petals, is maybe more of like a champagne, then they have more of a peach, so there's more options and it's cheaper. So yeah, I'm gonna recommend this one if you're starting off. And guess what, you don't like highlight, you only spent $5, you kept the receipt, you get your $5 back. If not, it's only $5. Milani is $10, so worth it, but I'm gonna save you a little bit more money with these Wet n Wild ones. Wet n Wild, you're gonna see, I think, another time next. Eyeshadow palettes. The Drugstore has definitely stepped their game up for eyeshadow palettes, and I feel like had I done this video a couple years ago, this would be totally, probably completely different. And I think looking back, I probably would have been like, we could do better, you know, type of a deal. Totally would have changed. The eyeshadow palette that I would highly recommend, or the type of, the brand, the selection where they have a variety of different colors to choose from, would once again be Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild is just doing it. They are saving you money. Another $5 product. The Mega Glow Contouring Palette is $5. The highlight is $5. This eyeshadow palette is $5, and they're all amazing, great quality products. This one specifically is the My Glamour Squad. I think this is a great option, but if you want to experiment with colors, they have one with crazy colors. If you want to experiment with pinks, they have one with pinks. They have different color schemes. This is just like a nice safe one if you want to practice either everyday looks, you want to mix it up for some more evening looks, you want to smoke it out. You have the options here. You have transition shades, which I feel like those like quads, sometimes I feel like back in my day when I was in high school, yeah, they didn't really have, what was a transition shade? Was that a thing in those quads, you know, in the CoverGirl quads? I didn't know what I was doing, but they have these palettes, and then even in the back they'll kind of tell you this is for the brow bone, this is for the eyelid. They kind of put the instructions for you, or you can watch my videos and I'll show you how to use this palette. But I just love that it's $5, and I personally compared this to the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Soft Glam palette. I did a side-by-side comparison, and after I was done, I kept forgetting which side was the Drugstore for $5 and which side was the high-end for $42. So the formula is there for the price. It is a freaking steal. So I love this for beginners because you can get something neutral, you can get something colorful, and if you want to graduate to the colorful colors, you just spend another $5, you know, maybe not even 10, maybe not even 20. I think this is great for those of you who are practicing. If you hit pan, you go and buy another one. Something that I learned along my makeup journey is that eyebrows make a huge difference in your makeup look. Whether it's maybe just if you have bushier brows and just like kind of getting them done, getting them, you know, trimmed down a little bit. Sometimes if they're just a little bit too full, whether it's just like a nice little waxing just to clean them up, a threading to clean them up, or defining them with a brow pencil, it makes a huge difference, especially kind of running through either a brow pencil or even a brow gel, because once you do foundation and powder and bronzer, you have all these things on your face, your eyebrows can tend to disappear underneath all that powder. So you need to kind of bring them back to life, bring them back to the forefront, because the eyebrows really shape the face. So I would definitely recommend for a brow pencil, if you want to go the brow pencil route, what I am wearing today is the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. There's so many other ones that I love. I love the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, but that's $10. You want to save more money? Go with the LA Girl. They also have a nice color selection to choose from. I think I would definitely recommend like the LA Girl versus maybe the like L'Oreal brow pencils, just because there's more colors in the LA Girl than there are in the L'Oreal brow pencils. I think you get about 4 options, unless they've expanded so far, but it doesn't look like it. So I would definitely say go with the LA Girl, especially depending on what type of hair, what your skin tone is. I think it'll make a difference. And I'll put down below a just quick and easy how to fill in your brows. Once again, this is one of those that just kind of takes time and some practice. For those of you who want to venture out into the wing liner land, or in general just a liquid liner, I would definitely highly recommend. This is like the only matte liquid liner that I have used on my channel for like probably over a year or two, basically since I probably discovered it, because it is just, in my opinion, the best matte liquid liner. It is the NYX matte liquid liner. $6. And I continue to purchase it, and I think I need to get a new one very, very soon. I'm gonna go pick one up tomorrow to have them fresh in case this one, you know, runs out on me. I am good and I'm set. But I just love, it has a brush tip, so for those of you who like a brush tip, there's also some felt tip liners out there, but I just personally like a brush tip, and this is just practice makes perfect. I'll also, you know, put down below how to wing liner, because this Wing liner is definitely an art form. It takes practice. Some people might get it really, really quickly. Some people might take a little bit longer, but just keep practicing. Don't give up with any step in your makeup routine. You're always going to constantly be elevating your skills. When you think like your eyeshadow looks good, then next year it's going to look even better, and then you can look back, you know, on your whole transformation, on your journey, and just kind of see how far you've come with your makeup game. I was going to wear false lashes for this video, but sometimes I feel like false lashes aren't always realistic for those of us who are starting off with makeup. Some people, I have not met anybody who's been like, yeah, I got this down type of a deal. So I was like, you know what, let me just use a mascara. Like, but personally, what is a mascara for maybe someone like me who loves false lashes? And with this mascara though, I feel like I don't need them, because this just makes your lashes look almost unreal. It goes to great lengths. It gives you that drama. It just brings your whole makeup game together, because especially I know when I put a wing liner on, I feel like I need those false lashes just to kind of, you know, because my eyelashes can get lost if it's not as a lengthening of a formula or just powerful as a formula. My lashes can get lost in between that liner. But, you know, some of us don't like the wing liner. In general, one that I think is just an amazing mascara that everybody needs to try, and I think it's just gonna make your eye look just come together, whether you're not even wearing anything on your eyes, just gonna make your lashes stand out. It's recent. It is the Milani Highly Rated Mascara. I think everybody needs to pick this up. Everybody, get it right now at your local Walgreens so you can see what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm wearing right now, and I honestly feel comfortable. I don't feel like, oh man, I need a little bit something extra to look a little bit more dramatic. If you want drama for your eyes, this is the mascara. I love the formula. It doesn't flake on my eyes. It doesn't, you know, run down my face. It doesn't feel heavy. This is a formula I would definitely recommend if you're just starting off. And I feel like this can really take any like lash length to the next step. I'm definitely curious to see someone with really long lashes. Like, woo, these will look extra sexy. There are so many freaking lipsticks out there. And this was definitely something very debatable for me. I was definitely trying to think about it for someone starting off with makeup. What would be something, you know, that everybody can find something for them in this brand? The pigmentation, the formula is just A+, and it's very affordable. And I narrowed it down to a couple ones, but then I really thought about what's going to be the most like mistake-proof, user-friendly lipstick. And for me, I would definitely say there's no specific color because everybody has a preference, but formula-wise, I would definitely recommend a Maybelline formula, whether it is their matte formula or their creamy formula. I think a Maybelline just does a lipstick right. And I was kind of torn. My two favorite brands for lipstick, I would definitely say it's between Maybelline and Milani. If I were to pick a liquid lipstick, it would be Milani, hands down. But this is a makeup-friendly video for beginners, and I just feel like a traditional lipstick like this in bullet form is just more forgiving than a liquid lipstick can be. I feel like definitely it can be a little bit trickier, especially if you have a very pigmented, it's like paint, you know, so especially if your, you know, hand is a little bit shakier, it's harder to kind of stabilize, even to just get a straight line. With this, I feel like it can be a little bit intimidating with a liquid lipstick. Once again though, hey, go for it if you want, but I just feel like for a beginner, getting this down first, and then you can kind of work your way up to liquid lipstick maybe. I don't know, kids these days though, these teenagers probably started off with liquid lipsticks, you know, so they're probably pros. But I think for a true beginner, definitely you can't beat an old traditional lipstick as opposed to liquid lipstick, because one of the formulas I was going to recommend, and totally still write it down if you know, want to, I would say is the Milani, their new soft matte lip creams, because those aren't totally matte drying for those of you who are not comfortable with that. And I feel like the pigmentation is there, but they're also very, very comfortable. It's a soft matte. They're not transfer proof, but you also don't have to worry about reapplying. So that was honestly my first initial one, but I was like, you know what? Maybelline though, the traditional lipsticks, I feel like you can find a color for whatever occasion, whatever color scheme you're looking for. They have it in a variety of different shades. So right now I'm actually using the shade Nude Embrace, which is one of the nudes, part of their like Intimate into matte nudes, their nude collection. They have their pinks, they have their purples, they have their reds, they have like organized kind of by color, they have their purples. So this nude might not be somebody's nude who's like a little bit tanner, who's a little bit darker, who's a little bit deeper. But if it's not, there's a nude that's maybe a little bit darker. So I feel like if you're gonna go to the drugstore and you need a lipstick, I would definitely try to narrow in on the Maybelline lipsticks, because you're gonna find a color for you a little bit easier depending on your skin tone. Just find, are you looking for a red? Go to the reds. Do you want like a bright red, a deep red, like what type of red? And you can find it for yourself. It's also drugstore, so you can try out many different shades. But the matte formulas I think are very comfortable mattes, and their creamy formulas are so creamy, but they're all very pigmented. So whatever color you're getting that color type of a deal. So I went in with the shade Nude Embrace for my lipstick, but something I don't want people to forget, and also I feel like it's gonna make a very big difference for a beginner. I didn't get this until later, but what a difference a lip liner makes. You totally don't have to, especially if maybe you're using maybe a deeper color. You can get away with not, but a tip for makeup beginners, especially with nude lipsticks. I personally love a good nude lipstick, but the shade Nude Embrace I would not wear on its own. I definitely need the help of a lip liner, because that's gonna not only give that shade a little bit more definition, a little bit more dimension, but it can even plump up your lips a little bit more. Like my lips aren't like naturally this plump. I put a little effort into it. And I think lip liners, one that I would recommend is definitely the Milani, their color statement lip liners. This is once again those traditional pencil lip liners, because it's a pencil but it glides on very, very smoothly. So it's very, very creamy, but the pigmentation for a type of like wooden pencil like this is insane. Sometimes I definitely use some other like wooden pencils, and I just feel like the pigmentation for especially like the nude, the very light shades aren't always there, but Milani does a nude lip pencil right. I think you can totally just do a lipstick on its own, or you can add a lip liner as well. But sometimes, you know, there's those lip gloss lovers, maybe you prefer just a lip gloss, but lip gloss formulas, simple as it is, can definitely be a little bit tricky. So I feel like a hidden gem from the drugstore that I would highly recommend for those of you just starting off, just wanting to narrow down like, okay, which lip gloss out of these 100 should I pick? I would choose the L'Oreal Infallible 8 Hour Pro lip glosses. The one that I used today is the shade Coral Sands number 405, and I think this is a great universal type of like nudie champagne shade that goes well with so many different colors. But once again, they have a nice like color selection from like nudes to like actual colored lip glosses. But what I love about this the most is how not sticky it is and the longevity of the formula. So I think this is a great lip gloss for beginners and for those of you who have been wearing makeup for years and years and years now and you just want to find a great lip gloss. Now the final product that I think a lot of beginners kind of maybe miss, they forget about, they don't think is very important, but I feel like makes a huge difference in your makeup application and more than anything in your makeup longevity, is a setting spray. I definitely, you know, started using makeup and I didn't notice a difference because I didn't know what the difference would be whether I had a spray or not, because I wouldn't use one. And it wasn't until I started using a makeup spray, then again it was a $30 Urban Decay one. I found you an alternative though for $10. And it wasn't until the day that I forgot to put that makeup setting spray on my face, and halfway through work I just already saw my makeup type of like fading. I just saw it kind of my face drying out a little bit. So don't snooze on a makeup setting spray. It can definitely take your like foundation that lasts 8 hours and it can extend that longevity of that foundation. So a makeup setting spray that I would highly recommend would be the Milani Make It Last setting spray for $10. You can pick this up at your local Walgreens, and they even have a little mini version if you want to try it out, or in general if maybe you just kind of want to travel with it, you can do that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and for those of you who are just starting off with makeup, I hope you'll take this checklist to the local drugstore and pick up some products that'll really work for you. And I'm definitely interested in finding out if anybody does pick up any of these products for those of you who are starting off with makeup and just products, love them, or maybe if you don't, if it doesn't work for you, let me know. But I love hearing that my recommendations are definitely, you know, they become some of your favorites as well. I have definitely, you know, been where you have been in this makeup journey, and let me tell you, it's been a journey, and that's just what it is. And don't give up. Practice makes perfect. Every time you do your makeup, kind of take your time on a different step and really, you know, blend a little bit more, sculpt the face a little bit more, do something different, and you'll notice the difference throughout time and just how much you improve throughout the years. So as I was about to finish recording this video, and thank you guys so much for watching, my camera decided to shut off and is not turning back on. I have an error 70, not sure what that means. I was hoping that maybe it just heated up a little bit and needed to cool off, but it's not turning on. Hopefully I can get that fixed. But like I was saying as I'm finishing this up on my iPhone, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with some more videos, and especially like this video and let me know if you want to see some more makeup beginner friendly videos so I can have here on my channel, because of course I love doing drugstore affordable videos so you guys can just easily pick up some of these products at your local drugstore. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all next time.